Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, SAS, Red Notice. I don't know, red box. But Ruby Rose is in it, and Andy Serkis. I recognize them. I don't recognize really anybody else right now, but I might as it starts going. 4.6 on IMDb. 1,881 people have viewed it. I started to scroll to see what kind of language it's in, and the first thing I saw was one, awful. So very, very low expectations. It's about, a small, well-trained group of criminals who are going to hijack something and take something. I don't know. It's your typical, a super soldier turned bad kind of thing. I don't know. An hour and 58 minutes long, so kind of long for a bad movie. But our expectations are low. I'll get into it. See if they should stay low or if we should rise them up, because maybe it's a little diamond in the rough. You never know. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching SAS Red Notice. We're at the 1 hour, 15 minute, and 54 second mark. I thought we were further, but like I said, it's almost a 2 hour long movie. So basically, Sam Heughan, I think his name is, the spy who dumped me guy. He's kind of one of the main characters, him and Ruby Rose. So he is, I don't even know, I'm gonna, some kind of British military guy. Ruby Rose is the criminal. So they were sent to do a job. It went bad. And now they're doing a second job. It just so happens that our main character, the military guy, is on the train, and Ruby Rose's group stops the train in this tunnel underneath this water and is holding everybody hostage. He just happens to be on it, taking his girlfriend to Paris to potentially propose to her. So he's kind of like the one guy show in like the Nakatomi Tower, and has to save everybody. And then of course the military shows up and they're trying to figure this all out. Really, that's what's going on so far. And he's moving about, underneath the train and around the train to try and save people. And Ruby Rose is trying to negotiate to get paid. So it seems like a ransom situation. She wants $500 million in safe passage. Whether that's her true end game or not, we don't know. We'll find that out. But or having the Prime Minister admit something. I don't know what that is, but I think they're both just masking what she really wants. That's just my guess. I don't know, though. So, I would have to say, at first, when I paused it, I thought to myself, well, I forget what it was, 4 point something, 4.7 or something like that. Let me just double check on that. 4.5. Definitely not a 4.5 at this point. However, now realizing there's so much more to the film, I could see it kind of waning on me a little bit here and there. But, they're in the tunnel, and there's not much room for action. So something's got to happen here to liven it up. But still, so far, what I've seen is probably a 5 or a 6. There's a cute part. He rescues a little girl, and they have a cute exchange, I thought. I enjoyed that. And, I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here, but definitely not a 4.5 so far. Higher than that. I'll be back in a little bit to let you know if that changes. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of SAS Red Target. Red Target, I think, means that that's the target that they're going to kill. And SAS, I have no idea. I completely missed that. So if you know what it means, let me know. I'm not looking it up. Love to hear your comments on it. Want to correct something, or at least clarify something that I found out after I watched the film a little bit more, with a little bit more focus, was that the initial job where they were laying the pipe, the thing that went wrong for Ruby Rose was that they were there to clear out the villages so that they could continue to lay the gas pipe through, right? And that the theory was that the Prime Minister hired them to do that. That's why she was asking the Prime Minister to take, ownership of what he had done, right? That was part of it, or get the $500 million in ransom. Remember, that was the two things. Now it makes sense. The reason I was confused, because I remember when they were talking about that, But it seemed like it went from okay, you got to clear villages so we can lay all this pipe down, to the pipe's already laid down now. Let's do this whole train thing, and it confused me. Maybe it was supposed to be like that. I don't know. But anyway, she goes to the train then and hijacks it with her, missionaries or whatever they are, missionaries. With their missionaries, with her mercenaries, whatever, to do that and hold them ransom, all that kind of stuff. And of course, our hero Tom, I think, whatever, comes to save the day. Just happens to be in the right place. Like again, this Die Hard movie I heard about before. So it's got some fun to it. It got some action to it, like that movie. And I thought, hey, it's definitely not a 4.7, worth watching, a little long. However, when it gets to the end, it just not confuses me, but just doesn't make sense with what was really going on the whole movie. The whole movie was this action, this Lone Ranger going in and helping, and okay, there's some bad people, or, people were playing both sides. Snide, I think they called them. But anyway, and you're trying to figure that out, and it's still a fun, interesting, action-packed movie. Then we get into the end, and there's just a couple of things, I get the twists, and that's fine. But there's a piece, now his girl that he's going to propose to, girlfriend, doesn't really know much about him, in a sense, like that he's just this military guy that does all this stuff. And she comes to find out, and, you're interested to see what she's going to react. They use a quote, I'm going to spoil it for you, it's not that big of a deal, drop them. And maybe that's a British term, like, I don't know, she said it, like, drop them. Like, it was just weird. And he was going after Ruby Rose. And it's just like, okay, it's an odd, I get it, like she's coming to terms with what he does, that's the whole, reason behind that, but it just felt out of place. And maybe it's just a cultural thing and I don't get it. So if that is, let me know. I apologize. But that, was the precipice of the other silly stuff that kind of happened. Of course, there's going to be a big battle at the end, a big fight. What's going to happen? Great, good, fighting there. But there's a point of and I'm not going to move it. There's two pieces during the fight. There's a stair that was just, again, I know what it was for, but it felt out of place, felt uncomfortable, and I knew what they were going for, and you'll know what they're going for when that happens, but it's like, just weird. And then there's a conversation that is a little misplaced. Again, I know what they were doing, but it just didn't come off as well as they thought. So that all happens, and then the final piece, the final I guess scene, it will be. It takes it to another, not another level, I won't say, but it's like it takes the movie. It's just weird. I don't want to say it takes it in a different direction because it's the end of the movie, but it wasn't like where they were leading the entire movie and they do this thing at the end, which just didn't jive with the rest of the movie, and without spoiling it for you, but you'll see what I mean. Like, it's wild. I wish I could speak freely, but I can't. So I don't want to spoil it for you if you do go in and see it, but check it out. I'm talking about the final scene with, right before it cuts out, essentially. That piece. You'll see what I mean. Not the piece before, which is a little weird too. I know I'm talking in tongues here or whatever, but it's without spoiling it to you. Just from the point where she says drop him. From that point on, watch for all these things. There's a couple of other things in there. Maybe one other thing I should say. And it's just like, what? Really? They're going to put that in this movie? After all of we went through an hour and 49 minutes of this, and you're just going to do all this stuff in the last 10 minutes that makes it weird. So, check that out. That's all I'll say. I won't go in any further, but you'll know what I mean when you see it. And if you do, put some comments in. Let me know what you thought. Otherwise, fun film. Good action film. I always liked Bruce Willis films. You know, I know it's not Bruce Willis, and I've used that joke a lot on this one, but you'll see what I mean. And I'll stop talking there because still not a 4.7. Over that, 5 or 6, I would say. You know, 5.49. I'll give it. All right, that's it. Put some comments in there. Talk about the last 10 minutes from that point, and love to hear your thoughts. All right, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I just like doing that because that's where it is. Tell all your friends, of course, and continue to tune in Kimmel's Irish Pub.